Greetings, friends! Today we are going to read Miss Bindergarten Has a Wild Day in Kindergarten. As we read, we are going to listen for places in a school. Then we are going to fill out our circle map with places in a school. If you have a circle map, you can fill that in while we are reading. If not, we will fill it in together at the end of the story. Miss Bindergarten Has a Wild Day in Kindergarten by Joseph Slate, illustrated by Ashley Wolf. Adam throws his hat too high. Brenda bursts in late. Christopher says he has to go. He really cannot wait. Miss Bindergarten begins a wild day in kindergarten. Danny tends his droopy beans. Emily spies some ants. Franny lifts her dress and shouts, "I love my fancy pants." Miss Bindergarten has a wild day in kindergarten. Gwen falls off the step stool. Henry just won't share. Ian sadly tells Miss B, "We didn't mean to tear." Miss Bindergarten and the librarian have a wild day in kindergarten. Jessie drops the bug jar. Kiki cuts her thumb. Lenny says, "Uh-oh, Miss B, we need the nurse to come." Miss Bindergarten and the nurse have a wild day in kindergarten. Maddie checks a chrysalis. Noah drops his rock. Ophelia's oozy painting is sticking to her smock. Patricia trips and flips her tray. Quentin overloads. Raffy Mac soaks Sarah when his apple juice explodes. Miss Bindergarten and the cafeteria helper have a wild day in kindergarten. Tommy dumps in too much dirt. Ursula's seat pack rips. Vicky pours in way too much, and the cardboard carton drips. Now Miss Bindergarten and the custodian have a wild day in kindergarten. Wanda whacks the principal. Xavier skins his knee. Yolanda says, "Come look, Miss B." Zach set the butterflies free. Miss Bindergarten and everyone enjoy an even wilder day in kindergarten. Sometimes even a wild day, says Miss B, turns up something wonderful to see. So while we read the story, we listened for places in a school. If you are going to fill in your circle map, please get a pencil. I'm going to use a pen so that you can see what I write. At the beginning of the story, Miss Bindergarten and her students were in their classroom. A classroom. They had to go to the office to get some clean clothes for Christopher. You remember, a secretary works in the office, and that was who they went to go see. So usually they have a desk, there's a computer, someone who answers the phone. So they went to an office. They also went to the library. The library is the place in a school that has lots and lots of books to read. I know at our library there's also a carpet where the students sit and listen to the librarian read them stories. There is a library. In this story, the nurse came to the classroom to bring the Band-Aids to the students. But sometimes when you don't feel good at school, you go to the clinic to see the nurse. And she usually has a cot or a bed for the students to lay down on. She also has a sink where you can get cleaned up, and that is called a clinic. A clinic. The students also went to lunch in the story, and when they went to lunch, they sat at tables in the cafeteria. A cafeteria. They also got to go outside and play. You might see basketball hoops. You might see a swing set. There might be a slide. I know the children like to take out a ball or maybe a jump rope. When you go outside to play, you go to a playground. A playground. Okay. So while we read the story, we listened for places in a school. Then we filled in all the places we could hear in our story. Next, we are going to name those things using our sentence frame. A school has blank. And we're going to fill in this blank with the names of the places that we heard in the story. I want you to say these along with me. A school has a classroom. A school has an office. A school has a library. A school has a clinic. A school has a cafeteria. A school has a playground. Next, we are going to write sentences using our sentence frame. You will need your notebook and a pencil. I want you to open your notebook to the next clean page. I am going to write using my pen so that you can see. Let's start by writing about a classroom. Remember, we need to start with our sentence frame this time. A school has a classroom. I see my sentence already starts with the uppercase A, so I can copy this the same way it was written. A school has a classroom. Remember, you need to add a period at the end of your sentence. So I started my sentence with an uppercase letter and I ended with a period. Make sure you have space between each of your words so that we can read it later. Next, I'm going to write about an office. A school has an office. A school has an office. Next, I will write about a library. A school has a library. A school has a library. Next, I'll write about a clinic. A school has a clinic. A school has a clinic. Next, I'll write about a cafeteria. A school has a cafeteria. A school has a cafeteria. Last, I will write about a playground. A school has a playground. A school has a playground. If you need more time to finish writing your sentences, go ahead and do that now. Finally, we will read our sentences. Remember to point to each word. A school has a classroom. A school has an office. A school has a library. A school has a clinic. A school has a cafeteria. A school has a playground. Today we read the book Miss Bindergarten Has a Wild Day in Kindergarten. We listened for all the places in a school, and then we wrote those on our circle map. We used a sentence frame to say what a school has. And finally, we wrote our sentences and read them.